Howdy, I'm Grey Pilgrim, and let me get this straightened out a little bit there. Well, to continue on with my discussion about junk that my cousin brought over the other day for tinkering with, this is the last of that horde. First, he brought me a pepper box. This is a pre-Civil War revolver that was developed, actually this one isn't, a pre-Civil War revolver that was developed before Sam Colt. And this was pretty popular. I did a video about one. I've got a Allen and Thurber that I put the title on it, The Gun That Won the East, which basically it was. These are much cheaper than a revolver to make. And at the time, I think you could buy a Colt 1849 pocket for something like 20-25 bucks, and this thing cost $5. So your working class guy would have one of these in his sash, and in the event some ne'er-do-well attacked him in an alleyway, well, he at least had something to protect himself. They usually came in about 31 caliber, and looked about like this. This one has an extremely brutal trigger on it. This is made from a kit. I think it's from Classic Arms, and it's not very good as a pepper box, but it should clean up and make a beautiful wall hanger. On top of that, he also gave me this, which is a beautiful little cannon. Again, clean this up. I think just some brass cleaner on this, some Brasso probably. Yeah, that'll work. Just take off these and pop the whole thing and throw it into a some citric acid or something and clean that off. And this is about 36 caliber as well. It's kind of cool. By the way, he also had given me, not this time, but much earlier, this thing, which is a siege mortar. This one is beautiful in that it has the actual pintel for elevation on it. It's just, it's just a tabletop example, but it's kind of cool. In a much earlier video, I shot this off, and it's kind of cool. It's about 50 caliber. It's a massive thing. Well, I've got some fuse, and this weekend, if all things permitting, I'll shoot these off. I also plan on shooting off the duck's foot. I love this thing, but this thing, from what I've read, this is also made from a Classic Arms kit, and it's not as well built as the traditional duck's foot was. So when they fire, instead of all three of these going off, they have a tendency for one, then two, then three. They'll go off in whatever sequence, but not all together. And because of that, instead of going ba-bang like this, it'll go ba-bang, bang, 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 twist it slightly. And because of construction issues, this wooden grip may or may not be connected correctly to the main chamber of the thing, and it might, and because of poor wood, it might crack here. So this thing could be kind of dangerous. I'll shoot this once, probably with blanks, then clean it up, and again, it'll make a nice wall hanger, as did this. I don't trust him. Well, he also gave me this. And this is kind of neat. This is actually an Iver Johnson 38 Smith & Wesson, but it's busted. You pop it open, and there's no guts to it at all. The reason I know this is I already own it. This is something I already have. This is an Iver Johnson 38 Smith & Wesson. And when you pop this one open, oh, come now. There. This is what it's supposed to happen. Like that. Also, because of this, I learned something new today. If you look on this, or this, what you'll see is right here. There's a little nub behind the trigger. Well, that tells me what that is. That is the actual firing trigger, and this is actually the cocking trigger. Why do I know that? Because that was developed back before the Civil War for a gun called the Star. Now, this is a single action Star, but the original gun of this had a nub back here exactly like that for firing the hammer. This was just the cocking trigger. And I see that that particular thing has continued on into the Iver Johnson. This is a cheap knockoff revolver from turn of the last century. This is sort of the working class man's revolver of that time. Again, the Colt or Smith & Wesson, rather high-end ones, you're not going to be able to afford them. But anybody can afford one of these. And usually they're only a 32 or 38. And they're ubiquitous throughout the east and west of the U.S. Just a cool thing to have. This is just interesting because it's, I can maybe make a cutout out of it or something, or just keep it for parts, because this is not something this is never going to fire again. But it's kind of cool as an example of type. At least I think so. That's why I got this one originally. Incidentally, it says on here, Iver Johnson Firearms and Cycle Works, because Iver Johnson, before they made guns, was best known for making bicycles. Just one of those little trivia things. Anyway, was it pepper box, a cannon, and an old busted Iver Johnson. And that's about the conclusion of my my hoard of new guns. These things, I think, are made by Classic Arms. I think that one is as well. Well, or both of these actually. This is the boot knife, the boot pistol. I figured as long as I had these, I might as well just put them out there for display. And this one, I think it looks pretty special right there. This one, I don't have room up there for it, so it's going to live over here somewhere. Yeah. How about this drawer? Incidentally, I also had one of those in the kit, but this is missing parts. No hammer or trigger or guts or any of the mechanism on it. That one works, but this one is, well, if that one breaks, at least I have these parts to help put it back together. Just a thought. Anyway, if weather permits, this weekend I plan on taking these out and at least firing them out off as blanks, just to see. But I don't know. Weather has been kind of icky around here lately, so no promises. Anyway, that's about all I got to talk about. Happy trails.